Good evening and welcome, friends. You are watching News Sunday, shows how seriously you take what's happening in and around the country. Let's try and give you the best debate tonight. The Modi government is planning to bring in an amendment in the Waqf Act of 1995 to regulate the Waqf properties in the country. A Waqf property is a charitable endowment under Islamic law. In a way, it's part of what goes as personal law for the Muslim community in the country. But it has been a matter of debate past few years. There have been outlandish reports of an entire Hindu village being claimed as a Waqf property in Tamil Nadu, or even the Taj Mahal being claimed as one in the courts, as also most famously the Gyanvapi Mosque. Modi government wants to bring in reforms which address issues of gender representation, make processes to declare a property as Waqf property more transparent, and to reduce litigation. But even before the Amendment Act is introduced in Parliament, there's already a row. AIMPLB, the All India Muslim Personal Law Board, has come out with a strong statement warning against any changes. Asaduddin Owaisi of the AIMIM has called it yet another instance of the Modi government targeting the Muslim community or RSS agenda to limit freedoms of the Muslim community. One cleric, unfortunately, has even threatened that the community would come out on the streets. Is it BJP politics of isolating the minority Muslim community, or a larger attempt at mainstreaming the minorities, a long-term national project which should have happened decades ago? Isn't it secular to reform a community and empower it further? What are the facts? Let's separate the grain from the chaff tonight, but before that, headlines. Sources say the centre likely to introduce a bill in Parliament this week to amend the Waqf Act.
बीजेपी शुरू से वक्फ बोर्ड्स और वक्फ की प्रॉपर्टीज़ के खिलाफ रही है और इनका एक हिंदुत्व का एजेंडा है, आरएसएस का एजेंडा है कि वो शुरू से वक्फ प्रॉपर्टीज़ को और वक्फ बोर्ड को ख़त्म करने की कोशिशें करती रही हैं.
Asaduddin Owaisi brands Waqf Amendment Bill as RSS agenda to finish off the minority community.
जितने भी हैं भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लोग और इस घटना से जुड़े लोग हैं.
After DNA test, Samajwadi Party Shivpal Yadav now demands a narco test for survivor continues to defend rape accused Neta in Ayodhya case. More than 300 dead, over 200 still missing in the Wayanad tragedy. Rescue operations continue on war footing. The TMC minister Akhil Giri seen threatening a lady officer asked to resign from cabinet amid backlash. And India beat England 4-2 in a thrilling shootout. Hockey India files complaint over poor umpiring during the quarterfinals game. Alright, as mentioned, the centre is likely to table the Waqf Board Amendment Bill in the Parliament in the near future, possibly this week. On the other hand, the opposition has already struck a dissenting note, calling the draft legislation as an attempt by the BJP to play the religion card yet again. Even as the minority community targeted with this amendment, the Muslims, they see red. Muslim clerics have started fear-mongering even, giving clarion call for an all-out war in case the centre moves in with this amendment. Let's look at the facts, then I come back on the other side with a panel of guests.
As the centre gears up to introduce the Waqf Amendment Bill in Parliament, the opposition and Muslim leaders are crying foul. AIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi has called the move an extension of the RSS agenda to finish off Waqf properties. He says the draft legislation is an infringement of the freedom of religion.
कि ये जो प्रपोज अमेंडमेंट से जो मीडिया में जो लिखा गया है वो इस बात को बताता है कि मोदी हुकूमत वक्फ बोर्ड की ऑटोनॉमी को छीनना चाहती है और वो इंटरफेयर करना चाहती है वाकिफ़ के मंशे के ख़िलाफ़ कि किस तरह से उस वक्फ की प्रॉपर्टी को चलाया जाए और ये ख़ुद फ्रीडम ऑफ रिलीजन के ख़िलाफ़ है।
मैं मुसलमानों से अपील करना चाहता हूँ कि देखिए, अगर आप किसानों की तरह जागेंगे नहीं, किसानों की तरह आप सड़कों पे नहीं आएंगे संवैधानिक तरीके से, बगैर किसी को नुकसान पहुंचाए, जब तक आप सड़कों पे नहीं आएंगे ये सरकार बाज आने वाली नहीं है। बहुत खामोश रह गए, अब खामोश रहने से काम नहीं चलेगा, अब मुसलमानों को सड़कों पे आना पड़ेगा, लेकिन संवैधानिक तरीके से कोई सरकार की संपत्ति को या प्राइवेट संपत्ति को नुकसान ना पहुंचाए।
The National Conference has accused the centre of declaring a war on the freedom of religion.
वक्फ बोर्ड जो है, जब उसको वक्फ बोर्ड कहते हैं तो उसके अंदर इलेक्टेड बॉडीज़ होती हैं। अगर वहाँ कोई ऐसी चीज़ लग रही है कानूनी तौर पे कि किसी प्रॉपर्टी के ऊपर वक्फ बोर्ड ने नाजायज़ कब्ज़ा किया हुआ है या करने जा रहे हैं या ऐसी मंशा है, तो वो जो कोर्ट्स हैं ना, वो किस लिए हैं? और अगर वो कानून के अंदर तब्दीली लाना चाहते हैं तो क्या ये रिकमेंडेशन किसी बोर्ड ने की है? किसने की है? बड़ी बदकिस्मती की बात है कि ये आप दादागिरी कर रहे हैं। इनके मन के अंदर जो बातें चीज़ें हैं, ये दो धर्मों को, ये धर्म की लड़ाई लड़ना चाहते हैं।
Samajwadi Party leader Mohibullah Nadvi has also frowned on the proposed bill, saying Muslim leaders and scholars should have been consulted before preparing the draft.
वक्फ बोर्डों से, जो भी वक्फ बोर्ड है, इलेक्टोरल कॉलेज होता है, वक्फ बोर्ड चुना जाता है, 7-8 मेंबर होते हैं उसमें स्कॉलर भी होते हैं, उसमें वकील भी होते हैं, उसमें समाज सेवी भी होते हैं, सब तरह की उसमें नुमाइंदगी होती है, सब समाज के सब वर्गों की। तो पहले तो उनसे पूछना चाहिए कि जो वक्फ की संपत्तियाँ जिस वर्ग से मुताल्लिक़ हैं, उस वर्ग का क्या कानून है उनके बारे में, ये पूछकर कानून लाया जाए। अगर लाना है या कोई संशोधन करना है कि कहाँ मुनासिब है, कहाँ नहीं है, किस हद तक हमें जाना है और कहाँ तक कहाँ रुक जाना है। किसी की आज़ादी, किसी की मज़हब की आज़ादी, किसी की विल की आज़ादी, कहीं ऐसा ना हो वो ख़त्म हो रही हो। तो उजलत में, बहुत जल्दबाजी में कोई ऐसा कानून संसद में लाया जाना मुनासिब नहीं है।
Welcoming the proposed legislation, BJP leader Sudhanshu Trivedi has said the money spent on the Waqf board could have been used to improve civic life. UP Minister Mohsin Raza has also come out in praise of the draft legislation, saying it would enable people to approach the administration and not the Waqf board to settle disputes.
बिल का स्वागत करेंगे अगर ये बिल आ जाता है, क्योंकि उत्तर प्रदेश से मिलाकर पूरे देश में लाखों संपत्तियां वक्फ की हैं और उसमें लोगों को न्याय नहीं मिल पा रहा है। निरंकुश वक्फ बोर्ड हैं, वो अपनी शक्तियों से ऊपर उठकर लोगों को परेशान करते हैं। तमाम ऐसी प्रॉपर्टीज़ हैं, तमाम ऐसे मसले हैं जो सीधे शासन के पास आना चाहिए। अब जो अध्यादेश आएगा, जिस पर चर्चा कराई जा रही है सदन में, भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार ला रही है, वो इसलिए ला रही है क्योंकि अब कोई भी मसला आप वक्फ बोर्ड लेकर नहीं जाएंगे, आप पहले शासन के, हमारे जो प्रशासन के अधिकारी हैं उनके पास लाएंगे, आप वो बताएंगे, अवगत कराएंगे, शासन को अवगत कराएंगे कि ये
The Waqf Act is one of the most arbitrary acts in India. It gives exclusive power to Waqf board to declare any property as of the Waqf. And in doing this, they do not have to give notice to the occupier of the property or the person who holds the title papers. They issue a notification, publish it in the Gazette. Nobody reads the Gazette. A year passes by. The Gazette is not known to everybody, so the notification is not challenged. The property then wastes in the Waqf.
With the centre putting forward its defence of the draft legislation and the opposition voicing opposition, expect the Waqf bill to be the new flashpoint as the parliament resumes on Monday.
All right, the debate is set. The burning question isn't reform secular? Joining me to defend the government side, Shalini Ali of the Muslim Rashtriya Manch. She's joining us live from Mumbai tonight. We also have Ratan Sharda, political analyst, speaks the mind of RSS, joining us live from Mumbai. Also Abhishek Sudhir, political analyst, leans towards the right, live from Delhi. And to take on the government side, Mufti Manzoor Ziai, he's joining us live from Mumbai, Muslim scholar. Also Kapil Madan, political analyst, live from Delhi, leans towards the Congress. And we also have Atikur Rahman, and I would want to begin with you, Atikur Rahman, Muslim scholar joining us, Islamic scholar, live from Mumbai. Is reform bad, Atikur Rahman? Or is BJP bad? Or is any reform brought by BJP bad? How do you see this?
Well, thank you, Abhishek. Abhishek, the primary question here is, if you're talking of reforms and particular reforms in the Waqf boards and the Waqf Amendment Act, since 1930s we have seen there are 2,000 amendments to this Waqf board acts, and every act related to the Waqfs has increased the powers of the state and the state governments, not the community per se. Has the community gained out of any of these reforms? No. Who has gained? The state governments have gained tremendous powers over the Waqf boards. The chairmen are appointed by the government, the members are appointed by the government. So the community per se does not gain out of any of these amendments. Again, one more amendment, and that too by the BJP, which is the Islamic phobic and Muslim phobic government. We are apprehensive about what they are up to. If they are really serious about it, and let me call a spade, Abhishek, all Waqf boards are neck deep into corruption. Why they are neck deep into corruption? Because the chairman and the members are appointed not by the community but by the governments. And the governments may be having any quid pro quo. The community per se does not gain. The Muslim community is at loss. Why do we endow our properties? We endow our properties in the name of Allah so that the community, the Muslims, gain out of it.
Okay.
The Muslims are not gaining out of it. So if this particular amendment gives power so that the Muslim community per se gains,
okay,
I have no objection.
Okay.
But if the BJP government again increase the power of the state,
okay,
the nation, the government of the day, then we will be very much, looking into it so that the courts are, giving us relief.
Okay, Atikur Rahman, in this opening statement, you mentioned that 2,000 amendments have been brought in since 1930 or thereabout, and they have all added
more than 2 dozen. Abhishek, correct.
2 dozen. Okay, 2 dozen amendments.
2
dozen amendments. I correct myself. 2 dozen amendments, and all of them are added to the power of the government. Remember, none of those 2 dozen amendments have been brought in by the BJP, right, Atikur Rahman? Because this is the first time the Modi government and the BJP, they are bringing in an amendment, a change in the Waqf Act. But Shalini Ali, should we not look at reform just because there is a perception that BJP is Islamophobic, as Atikur Rahman says?
I would like to bring on record that at least in the name of history, in Indian history, BJP will come in as one of the political parties that has been very popular in bringing in reforms amongst the minorities, be it the CRPC 125 where there was an uproar, be it the triple talaq, be it any of the reforms that are brought in about for any of the minorities. Now ask yourself, the reason for the reform to come in is because they also know, the government knows, the people knows, even the Muslims know that there is a requirement for the reform. We all know what happens in the Waqf board properties. We all do know that we need tighter laws. So if the government themselves have understood that there is an underlying problem which is still existing, they are ready to make changes positively. So why is not our minorities ready to accept it? Why are they not wanting more women to come in forward? Do you know, on record, we have only one lady as the chairman of the Jammu Kashmir Waqf Board, and we have 3 women in the entire country who are serving as members in the Waqf board. Out of which one lady in Uttar Pradesh has brought in about digitalization of the Waqf properties. You have to walk into the future with the present in hand and forget about the past. You learn from the past, you learn from your mistakes and move forward. Where does this whole aspect of the RSS coming in or the BJP coming in, wherever any reforms are brought in, forget about which party it is bringing in. Think about the community, think about what positive it's going to bring about.
Well said, well said. Let me take this to Kapil Madan, because Kapil, you shouldn't be having, any contention with the fact that if the government is bringing in an amendment which takes care of gender representation on these boards and councils, someone like Kapil Madan shouldn't be objecting to it, right?
So Abhishek, let me speak my mind on the subject. I totally agree with you to an extent that there should be reform and we should be, forward thinking. I agree with our, learned panelists on the debate who say that we should be thinking forward and, taking steps for betterment of the future. I agree with you. There is absolutely no problem in government bringing reformative steps, making amendments which will take the nations forward, which will take the, all community forward. But at the same time, you remember when the women reservation bill was passed just before 2024 election, it was only a jumla because at that point in time, the government never wanted to give reservation in practice. And perhaps that's the reason why when BJP government announced their list of candidates, you never had the number of women which would have been there if the act was passed. My only contention at this stage is that, yes, absolutely reform should be welcome. But at the same time, if it is only a narrative building exercise, you remember the pre-poll speeches made by the Honorable Prime Minister, wherein he used, words like Pusbetia against a particular community.
I don't think we should go into such...
Just a minute, madam. I never interrupted you. Please hold on.
I'll come to you, Shalini.
You will not tell me where I will go.
I'll come to you, Shalini.
You will not tell me where I will go. I will speak what I have to speak. You will not tell me that. Now, Abhishek, the only contention that I have insofar as this law is concerned, that this should not be only a narrative building exercise. There should be substance. There should be a intelligible differentia and there should be a rational objective which the government should aim to achieve, and the underlying principle of this should be common good for the country.
Okay, fantastic. Common code, and is it a slip of tongue, Freudian slip, Kapil Madan? Common code, are you betting for uniform civil code in any manner?
I am saying
it
common
would be
good.
Most welcome on this panel.
I am saying common good of the country and the citizens.
You said common good, yeah. So common good through common code. But you see, because you said it should be clearly defined criteria. So for example, the proposed amendments are going to make verification mandatory. Now that's an issue which has been plaguing this whole process of declaring a property a Waqf property, that the verification takes years, and by that time there is so much litigation that it almost becomes like any other civil case in the courts. Also the issue of women's representation, and then of course there is an oversight at the district level which is missing as of now. So you, for example, get all these fantastic headlines off and on, Kapil Madan, one of which I am reading for you. Telangana High Court dismisses Waqf Board's plea claiming 5-star hotel property. Right? So what's wrong if issues like this, processes are clarified, what processes to follow by way of an amendment, so that there is general clarity, not just for the community, but for the courts and everyone involved?
Whole process. Is this question to me, Abhishek?
Yes, Kapil. I'm just completing.
I agree with you. That's what I said. I agree with you, insofar as...
So broadly you agree? Broadly I
agree. Broadly I agree with you.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So now, because you said that this seems like an only narrative building exercise, so let me take this to Abhishek Sudhir, because
should not be here. I am not saying it is a narrative building exercise. I am saying if it is a narrative building exercise, then it would be, a very sad thing for the country.
Why these ifs and buts? Okay, let Abhishek Sudhir respond. Abhishek, you see this protest, this outcry even before the bill is brought in, and we know the contours from what the government is intending to do. It is because, as Atikur Rahman said, that there is an element of Islamophobia, the perception of BJP as Islamophobic, and also that, like it happens in the case of women's reservation bill, as Kapil Madan says, this is like a narrative building exercise.
No, look, Mr. Kapoor, what I will say is let's look at the law. Let's leave the politics out of it. Why is there a problem? The Waqf board is an extremely powerful body. The Waqf board can identify a piece of property and claim rights over that piece of property, whether it belongs to a Hindu, a Muslim, a Christian, anybody. They will then issue a notification in the official gazette asserting their right over that property. For example, in Tamil Nadu, in the village of Tiruchendurai, that Alok Kumar of the VHP, I think, spoke to your channel and explained today, you had a completely Hindu village with a temple in it, with not a single Muslim resident in that village. The entirety of that village was claimed by the Waqf board. Now, please understand that we cannot go to the civil courts. We cannot go to ordinary courts of law when the Waqf board claims the property. Tomorrow, if the Waqf board claims the property of Abhishek Kapoor cannot go to a civil court. He has to go before the Waqf board tribunal. He has to present his case before the same people who have claimed the right over his property.
Okay.
Now, the Congress party, in a series of amendments in 2013, before they lost power, Abhishek, they reduced the right of appeal from decisions of the Waqf board tribunals. You have a very limited right of challenge to the Supreme Court. Also, one day before the Model Code of Conduct came into force in 2014, Salman Khurshid, in what can only be described as an act of land jihad, his niece said vote jihad, this was land jihad, 123 properties in Delhi were given to the Waqf board. 10-11 years of struggle by the Modi government, and we are still to get the properties back. And I say we, I mean the state.
Right.
Now, the verification that you spoke of, Abhishek, what will the verification do? Before the Waqf property can claim any property as theirs, that verification by the district magistrate will ensure that that property actually belongs to them. The Waqf board acts brazenly. They claim prime property in all the major cities of India, be it Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore. You go to Bangalore, there is a very good chance if you're in the prime area of Bangalore, you're standing on property claimed by the Waqf board. Right?
What
this
is
issue has been raised repeatedly.
What is this?
Yes,
what is this?
August 5th.
I want to understand.
Maybe it has
I
symbolism,
want to understand.
But
Mufti,
let's forget about the religion and the politics. This is an issue of law.
I want to understand this. Now,
this is an issue of law.
You know, this is a litany of legal wrangles that we are looking at, and possibly the amendments that are being brought in address some of them. But, you know, to Mufti Ziai first, and then again to Atikur Rahman before I go to Ratan Sharda for a broad view of why the RSS is being dragged into this. Mufti Ziai, the manner in which the process is followed as of now, anyone can declare any property as Waqf property, and there is very limited legal remedy available. And obviously this is not good for the country, for the society, if this is the case.
अभिषेक जी, मैं आपको दो बातें कहना चाहूंगा और आपके माध्यम से
देश the only religion that has a board like this. No other
दो
religion
साल
has a board
कबल
like this.
हमने माइनॉरिटी मिनिस्ट्री के साथ में बैठ करके इश्यूज को हल करने की कोशिश की है. इसमें 3-4 बातें हमने रखी हैं कि वो लोग जो क्लेम करते हैं कि ये मेरी प्रॉपर्टी है, तो उन्हें भी अपने डॉक्यूमेंट्स ला करके दिखाने होते हैं. वक्फ प्रॉपर्टी उसे कहते हैं कि जो अल्लाह की राह में वक्फ कर दिया जाए. तो उस वक्फ प्रॉपर्टी में हमारे भाई साहब ये कह रहे हैं कि प्राइम लोकेशन पर प्रॉपर्टीज हैं. अगर मुस्लिम भाइयों की प्राइम लोकेशन पर प्रॉपर्टीज हैं और उसको अल्लाह की राह में वक्फ कर दिया है, तो वक्फ की जो बॉडी है जो रेगुलेट करती है सिर्फ इन चीजों को, तो रेगुलेट करिए ना. आप इसको अपने अधिकार के तहत में अपने लोगों को देने की बात क्यों करते हैं?
आप कैसे रेगुलेट कर सकते हैं सर? जमीन आप कब्जा कर रहे हो, और जमीन आप कब्जा करके मालिक को बोल रहे हो कि ये कैसे आपका जमीन है, हमको दिखाओ. सर, you cannot be judging your own
आपके वक्त में मैंने इंटरप्ट नहीं किया था.
ठीक है, अभिषेक
सिंडिकेट चल रहा है मौलाना साहब, जहां पे प्रॉपर्टी के ऊपर कब्जा किया जाता है.
मैंने वहां पर क्या गुफ्तगू रखी है, मैं ये दो चीजें.
Structured conversation. Abhishek and Shalini, I'll come to you. Let Mufti Ziai complete, and I have to get in Ratan Sharda also. Mufti Ziai, please complete.
अभिषेक जी, हिंदुस्तान की माइनॉरिटी मिनिस्ट्री के दरमियान में होने वाले गुफ्तगू का मैं हिस्सा रहा हूं. मैंने वहां पर जो सलाह और मशवरे दिए हैं, मैं चाहता हूं कि रिफॉर्म होना चाहिए. लेकिन
So you agree that the Modi government has consulted the community before they have thought of these reforms?
रेगुलेट करें.
Mufti Zia, you are agreeing that the Modi government has consulted you. They have consulted the community. It's not out of the hat that they are coming out with this amendment or these changes.
नहीं, यही अभिषेक जी मैं बताना चाहता हूं देश को कि देखिए, जो लोगों ने गलत तरीके से किसी चीज को कब्जा किया है वो उनके हकूक उन्हें मिलने चाहिए, लेकिन रेगुलेट करने के लिए जो हमारी कम्युनिटी ने दिया हुआ है वक्फ बोर्ड को, तो वक्फ बोर्ड उसे रेगुलेट करे, उसके ऊपर में जोर जबरदस्ती करने की कोशिश ना करे।
तो ऐसा क्यों मान के चल रहे हैं कि इसमें जोर जबरदस्ती आएगी? ये जो अभिषेक सुधीर ने मुद्दे उठाए बहुत जेन्युइन मुद्दे हैं, और अगर लीगल रेमेडी अवेलेबल नहीं है और उसका प्रोविजन आ जाता है तो क्या समस्या है?
अभिषेक जी, क्या प्राइम प्रॉपर्टी है तो क्या उसकी चीज को वो उठाने
नहीं, प्राइम से मतलब नहीं है। आप अभिषेक सुधीर का नो विचार से जो उनका विचार है उस पर फोकस करिए कि प्रॉपर्टी प्राइम है नहीं है, बट उस पर लीगल रेमेडी होनी चाहिए ना।
देखिए अभिषेक जी, शक व शुबा यहीं पर आता है कि जब आपको प्राइम प्रॉपर्टी दिखने लगती है और आपकी आंखों में वो चीजें खटकने लगती है, तो उसकी बुनियाद पर अगर आप इन तमाम कानून बना रहे हैं तो ये गलत है। इसलिए हमें इस बात का इंतजार करना चाहिए गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया किस चीज को वहां पर प्रदान करती है, और जैसे ही सिर्फ सदन में इस पर बहस होगी तो दुनिया के सामने आश्कार हो जाएगा।
It is actually not about prime property, as is the case, for example, in that famous Tamil Nadu example where entire village has been claimed as a waqf property, and the farmers there, Hindu farmers living there for generations, they have to go and apply to the Waqf board and get a certificate or NOC before they can sell their land. So it's not about prime property. Maybe you are picking up on the wrong choice of words made by Abhishek Sudhir.
इसलिए मैं कह रहा हूं कि तमिलनाडु के उस प्रॉपर्टी पर जो इशू हुआ है उस पर एक लंबी बहस हुई है, उस पर बाकायदा तौर पे प्लानिंग की गई है कि किस तरीके से वो लोग जो जबरदस्ती करने की कोशिश करते हैं, या उत्तराखंड में
The Waqf board routinely seizes properties of non-Hindus. The Waqf board
Abhishek pull back.
seizes the property of non-Hindus and
Ratan Sharda.
आप उसके ऊपर में निगाह मत लगाइए।
No.
आप रेगुलेट करिए, उसके ऊपर निगाह मत लगाइए कि हम
exactly. So if the regulation is being brought in, you should not be objecting, which you are, and the kind of words that have been used in these protests that are coming in. Asaduddin Owaisi saying, Ratan Sharda, that this is RSS agenda. Why is RSS getting into Waqf of all things?
I think Abhishek using RSS as punching bag, and as a red herring is very common to all these secular people who are secularly named, who talk up the constitution but don't give two damns for the constitution, because is Waqf Board Act a part of the basic structure of the constitution? No. It was introduced in 1954 to take care of the land of claims of properties left behind pre-partition. Nothing to do with after that. If you go to the Mughal era, who ruled over major parts of Bharat, they will start claiming every property. A property is Waqf property. Who is going to stop that? As far as Taj case is concerned, 2005 the claim was filed. ASI went and appealed against it. Until 2024, Supreme Court is asking for the proof of Shah Jahan's gift of Waqf to the Waqf board. There is no answer. And is Waqf board God given? Is it Sharia given? No, it's a normal act which is the constitution, which is much against the secular nature of the constitution, where no other religion, minor, major, smallest of the minority has even 1/10 of such rights. Their properties are at stake. They have to fight for their property. They have to control their properties. In fact, in case of Hindus, their properties are owned by the government in most cases, wealthy temples, and they are frittered away. There is no way Hindus can appeal about it. So you should have a secular law which gives right to every community to protect their properties. Why only for Muslims? Are Muslims special citizens more than other citizens? Are Muslims specially more than Christians or Jains or Sikhs? No. But the way they behave, they will aggressively take over a temple. But now you're talking of temple and village. What is more hilarious is that temple was built 1500 years back when there was no Islam. And you are talking of rights. Let us be very frank. Let us not be apologetic, saying reforms hai. We are trying to put women in the place. Sorry, it's an act which should be thrown out, lock, stock, and barrel, and everybody should have the same right to control the religious places. All this apologia, I don't support at all. Because they are talking reforms. When this land was taken over by the
you also
board,
please understand that the Waqf board, all the officers.
Abhishek, hold on. Ratan Sharda is speaking on your side. Hold on.
Did any Waqf member protest against the takeover of the entire village and the temple? No, none of them spoke. When Triple Talaq was brought in, did any Maulvi support it? No, they did not. So they want to play with the sentiment of the people. They want to use every pretext to create victimhood. and then talk of Islamophobia. What Islamophobia? Modi government has done much more for minorities than anybody else. But to claim victimhood, claim Islamophobia, and try to face somebody just because you're outright tax 1954, why is 1995 brought in? Were they not happy with enough powers they already had? Why 2013, when they got more power? What is so special about a community and all other minorities have no rights? Majority has no rights over the religious places, about properties. So matter of property becomes a religious issue.
Okay, now I'm so tempted to get in Atikur Rahman and Mufti Ziai and Shalini Ali, but before that I want to go to Kapil Madan. Kapil Madan, this is essentially about secularism. This is about laws which should apply equally to all communities, and the Waqf Act, Ratan Sharda says, you know, there is no need to be apologetic. Waqf Act is essentially a community law. It is a community-specific law, and hence against the ethos of secularism as enshrined in India's constitution. So you rather do away with the Waqf Act itself.
We gave Waqf following people to Pakistan. We let 1/3 of the land with bloody partition. People lost their lives. Today you want the same rights that exist in Pakistan?
Okay, Kapil Madan.
Where is the genuine respect for constitution secularism? This is all drama of constitution. They don't support constitution. Common will they talk, but are Hindus, Jain, Sikhs not part of common?
Okay. The point Mr. Ratan Sharda is making, Kapil Madan, is that Waqf Act makes provisions for the Muslim community, which the constitution does not extend to the Hindus, the Sikhs, the Jains, the Buddhists, the Parsis, and hence this is a law in contravention with the secular spirit of the constitution.
Abhishek, I'll make only, very small argument here. If Mr. Sharda says that this very act is unconstitutional because it is against the ethos of the constitution, then in that situation, Abhishek, I would urge, because, BJP and RSS has many lawyers on their side. Why don't they challenge the wire of the act and let the Supreme Court decide whether this is constitutional or this is unconstitutional?
There are already petitions in the High Court, at least I know of one, in the Delhi High Court, which is challenging the constitutional status of the Waqf Act itself. Kapil Madan.
Abhishek, again I am reiterating, to my knowledge and understanding, you can correct me. To my knowledge and understanding, there is no order or a judgment which has declared this act as unconstitutional. It does not become unconstitutional just because Mr. Sharda says so. While again I would, agree with you to an extent. Just a minute.
Those who claim to follow.
So I never, Mr. Sharda, I never
has a view, Kapil Madan.
You are such a seasoned debater. Please wait for your turn. I never interrupted you. Please extend the same courtesy. And having said that, I will just say here, again I would like to reiterate my opening remarks wherein I said that yes, anything that goes against the ethos of, the constitution, anything which is being done for, larger good of the society, if there are some problems in the act, if it gives excessive power to the Waqf board, yes, there should be debate on this. The instance should be debated. I am not, and in fact, what Abhishek Sudhir just said here, I think it's an important issue. And you need to see it in the light of what, our law says and how the courts have, dealt with it. And let me also give you, another perspective of it to Mr. Sharda also. In our constitutional scheme, judicial review is a part of basic structure, doctrine of the constitution. Every act of any government authority, any tribunal, any board, can be challenged before the High Court under Article 226 and Article 32.
Okay, no, let's not get into academics, but because I already mentioned to you, Kapil Madan, that there is already a Article 226 petition before the Delhi High Court challenging the constitutionality of the Waqf Act.
Abhishek, that's not done.
I can intervene.
Please allow me to.
I'm countering you. You are saying let it be done. I'm saying it has already been done. So move on.
खत्म करोगे तो काउंटर तो तब होगा ना जब मैं कंप्लीट करूंगा. मेरे को सुना ही नहीं आपने तो काउंटर किसको कर रहे हो?
You repeated your argument. That's why, Kapil Madan.
Yes. No. So all I am saying here is that our constitutional courts have power of judicial review against every act and any act of any body, government body, board or a tribunal, anything. And I am sure Abhishek has mentioned, he mentioned an important point, an instance though I am personally not aware of it, but I am sure the High Court or the Supreme Court as a constitutional court will take cognizance of it. If there has been an excessive exercise of powers by
Abhishek,
any
please, a
board,
quick
if there is a
counter.
wrongful
A quick
exercise of
counter.
power
He's
by any
taken
board,
Okay,
let
let's not, Kapil, don't obfuscate with all this legalese, you know, because I have already...
Just 30 seconds,
No, I
30
am not.
seconds.
I am
First
not.
of all,
No, Atikur Rahman. Abhishek, I'll come to you. Atikur Rahman, you know, in 2019, Atikur Rahman, because you mentioned corruption aspect, you know, so I have to take the debate forward, Kapil. Please let me do that. Atikur Rahman, in 2019, in a written reply in the Lok Sabha, then Minority Affairs Minister Mukhtar Abbas Naqvi, he said that there are total about 16,937 cases to be precise, where the Waqf properties are encroached, and these properties are facing litigation in various courts. And in 2017, the Maharashtra government had to sack one head of the Waqf board because he was seen to be illegally selling some of the Waqf properties to developers. So
don't forget, Delhi is without a chairman at the Waqf board presently. Don't forget that also. We have issues in the
There are so
capital
many
city also.
states does not have a chairman.
So obviously, then you are, if you are admitting that there is so much litigation, for example, let me complete.
ये गवर्नमेंट के ही किए धरे हैं, जिससे मुसलमानों की प्रॉपर्टी पर लोगों ने कदगन लगाए हैं और दूसरों को एनओसी दी।
अरे तो जियाई साहब, इसलिए तो वेरिफिकेशन का प्रोसेस आना जरूरी है।
दिल्ली में आप सोचिएगा, दिल्ली में निजामुद्दीन के अंदर वक्फ बोर्ड की जमीन है जो चेयरमैन साहब देते हैं एक मदरसा चलाने के लिए, जो बिना किसी अथॉरिटी के वो मदरसा इलीगली चल रहा है। यही तो हो रहा है वक्फ बोर्ड की प्रॉपर्टियों के साथ, और ज्यादातर ये जो उन शहरों में हो रहा है, उन प्रदेशों में हो रहा है जहाँ सरकार भाजपा की नहीं है। हम और क्या कह रहे हैं, इसको एयर टाइट करने की बहुत ज्यादा जरूरत है।
अच्छा सुनिए
अमेंडमेंट्स आने, उसको एयर टाइट करने की जरूरत करने की जरूरत
Shalini,
Abhishek, may I come in?
I'll come to you, Atikur Rahman. My question was to Atikur Rahman. Shalini ji, please let him respond. You see, Atikur Rahman, just completing, 120 writ petitions pending in various courts of the country, challenging provisions of the Waqf Act, including one, of course, in Delhi High Court, which actually challenges the entire Waqf Act. But my question is, Atikur Rahman, because you were the one who mentioned about corruption, and I gave you examples of the level of corruption, encroachments, etc. happening. Why not have a complete reform of the act itself? And what's wrong if the Modi government is doing it, Atikur Rahman?
Abhishek, just two broad points. Point number one is, wherever corruption is being, ratified, just now it has been said that a particular land has been taken away, an entire village belonging to the Hindus. That particular act is a criminal act. We have to see the crimes, the proceeds of this crime goes to whom? As I said, all the chairmen and the members are appointed by the state governments. So where is the question of the Muslim community having any benefit out of it? So the Muslim community per se is out of it. Second important point, which is very important to this debate, that wherever the Supreme Court has taken cognizance, wherein the religious places there has been corruption in the temples, mainly in South India, what the Supreme Court has ruled out is that remove the anomalies in this particular temple trust and return it back to the temple trust. Return it back to the community. The same applies over here. The anomalies, the corruption has to be removed, and the community per se should be benefited out of this, because we endow our trust, we endow our properties in the name of Allah. Are we being, as a community, getting back the benefits of it? No. Since 1930s, the Muslims have not gained out of it.
Ratan Sharda, is there parity between Islam and other communities, other religions in the country when it comes to these kind of provisions, as Atikur Rahman suggests?
I already said that there is no parity at all. No other minority, no other majority, no community at all has these kind of widely sweeping powers which are highly discriminatory. And as far as benefit to Muslim community is not going, that exactly the question that Mr. Atikur and others should think that why the Waqf board is not working, why Waqf board is not giving benefit to the Muslim community, why it is behaving like handmaiden of corrupt people. Tamil Nadu is a secular, so-called secular state for years together.
I mentioned it,
does
sir.
not have Waqf property to be used properly. So Waqf properties are, yes, they are den of corruption, but has any temple been returned to Hindus? It was supposed to be taken temporarily by the British. It was extended in the free India, and that is being misused by every state government, irrespective of the party, and we just keep quiet on that. Why doesn't the Maulvi Samaj talk to the Waqf board, throws out the Waqf board, demands new power, new committees that will not be corrupt, that will not take away the rights of the other people, and also see to it that whichever so-called communal or secular government, now he talked of Islamophobic BJP, who is DMK. They are controlling the trust for last nearly 30-40 years. So let us not get into these kind of religious arguments. It is purely a law which is discriminatory, arbitrary, against the spirit of the Constitution. Again, I'm saying, I'm not saying L Constitution, I'm not a lawyer. Spirit of the Constitution, what is supposed to do that? Treat every citizen equal. To my mind, government should have brought in a new bill giving equal rights to all the religious institutions, all the communities, rather than trying to tinker with a law, with an act which have been tinkered with heavily in a demonic way right in 95, then again 2003. So this should not be allowed, and this is not God-given act that these people are protesting and threatening loyalists.
Mufti Ziai.
Is it okay? Are they the idea of throwing people to the dogs?
Mufti Ziai.
The violence is okay?
Okay, Mufti Ziai, आप भी कह रहे हैं कि रिफॉर्म की ज़रूरत है, अतीकुर रहमान भी कह रहे हैं कि करप्शन होता है और कौम को कुछ मिलता नहीं है, और दूसरी बात, सबसे बड़ी बात ये कि ये प्रोविजंस आपको तो फ़ायदा कर नहीं रहे, पर क्योंकि वो स्टैट्यूट पे हैं, कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन एक्ट है, उसके कारण जो और कौम है उनको लगता है कि आपको कुछ प्रिविलेज मिला हुआ है, तो आपको तो कुछ मिल नहीं रहा, आप कह रहे हैं, और बाकी सब सोचते हैं कि प्रिविलेज हो रहा है, तो आप छोड़ दीजिए इसको, या रिफॉर्म तो कर लीजिए कम से कम।
नहीं, अभिषेक जी देखिए, रिफॉर्म की जरूरत है, लेकिन वो रिफॉर्म करने के लिए इस बात में दिशा निर्देश सही देना होगा, और इन चीजों के लिए उन उलमाओं से, वक़्फ़ के जानकारों से और मुस्लिम जो धर्मगुरु हैं उनसे बैठ के बात करनी चाहिए। वजह क्या है, इसके अंदर में कुछ लॉज है, और वक़्फ़ जो है ना, वक़्फ़ और रतन शादर साहब, वक़्फ़ ऑलवेज वक़्फ़, और वक़्फ़ जो होती है वो हमेशा अल्लाह के लिए नाम पर वक़्फ़ हो जाती है, और जिससे गरीबों को और मजदूरों को, मजबूरों को फायदा पहुंचाती है। लेकिन बात ये होती है कि हमारे मोहतरम इस बात सही कह रहे हैं, मैं इससे एग्री करूंगा कि जिस तरीके से वहां पर बैठे हुए लोगों ने महाराष्ट्र प्रॉपर्टी ऐसी है जिस पर जबरदस्ती एनओसी देकर के उनको खुल्लम खुल्ला बेच दिया गया है, तो मैं चाहता हूं कि रिफॉर्म हो, और ऐसे
मैं आपको सीधी बात पूछ रहा हूं, एक बात का जवाब दीजिए।
गलत तरीके से देखिए, वहां पर इंपॉर्टेंट ये है कि जानकार से बात करना,
रतन शारदा
और कानून के दायरे में रख करके वो तमाम चीजें सामने लाई जानी चाहिए। अभिषेक जी, एक बात और आपकी मैं इस तरफ लाना चाहूंगा, असल मसला क्या है, महाराष्ट्र और मुंबई के अंदर में हजारों प्रॉपर्टी ऐसी है जिसको इलीगल तरीके से बिल्डरों को सौंप दिया गया है। यकीनन हम चाहते हैं कि उससे हमारे लोगों को, हमारे गरीबों को, हमारी बेवाओं को, हमारी बहनों को उसके हकूक मिले, लेकिन सरकार की नीयत इसमें साफ रहनी चाहिए। इससे पहले कि कांग्रेस की हुकूमत ने, उन लोगों ने ये सारे काम किए हैं, उन्होंने
अल्टीमेटली
बीजेपी अगर सुधार करती है तो उसका जरूर हमें उसको सपोर्ट करेंगे, लेकिन साथ ये है कि सही हो और कार्रवाई।
Abhishek Sudhir, ultimately it comes down to the niyat of the government, because the Muslim community does not trust the BJP. They think that triple talaq is aimed at dividing the community. They think that CRPC 125 is interference in their internal affairs. They think that Uniform Civil Code is targeted at the Muslim community, and hence if Waqf Act is to be reformed, even that the intention is malafide, and that is why they are going to protest, react, but not agree, even if it's in the benefit of the community.
मुसलमानों को कॉन्फिडेंस में लेके कीजिए ना साहब, आपके साथ मुसलमान खड़े होने को तैयार होते हैं।
कौन से मुसलमान?
How long?
Abhishek first and then Ratan Sharda. Just hold. Abhishek first.
To these prehistoric ideas.
Quickly, Abhishek.
My point simply is this, Abhishek. In Hindu law, there is no concept of divorce. There is a concept of divorce in Islamic law, but there is no concept of divorce in Hindu law. Marriage in Hindu law is a sacrament. Marriage in Hindu law is not a contract. You cannot break a sacrament. You can break a contract. But when Jawaharlal Nehru introduced the Hindu Code bills, right, introduced Hindu Marriage Act, Special Marriage Act, introduced the concept of divorce. We as Hindus accepted it. We saw it as moving with the times. How long will the Muslims keep asking for special treatment? We are in 2024. The Uniform Civil Code is the need of the hour.
Abhishek,
we
you
need
are
to
wrong.
respect
You
women,
opposed the Hindu code
whichever
bill.
religion they're from.
You opposed
How
the
long
Hindu
are you
code
going to
bill.
discriminate between
Hindu
Hindu women and Muslim
bill.
women?
And Dr. Ambedkar had to resign.
They might have opposed it, but we overcame it, didn't we?
Because he was
Ratan Sharda, do you oppose it now?
ultimately.
I want to ask Ratan Sharda ji. Ratan, stop shouting. Stop shouting. Make your point. Stop shouting.
No, he made a point. He made a point. Abhishek Sudhir, but you are digressing. We are not discussing. We are not discussing. We are not discussing the Hindu code bills. We are not discussing the marriage and divorce issues.
Oppose reform?
But why to lie?
But the point you made, Abhishek Sudhir, the point you made is well taken. Let me
हस्तक्षेप भी नहीं चाहते साहब. हम रिफॉर्म चाहते हैं लेकिन शरई मसाइल पर आपसे हस्तक्षेप नहीं चाहते. आप उसमें जबरदस्ती करें वो बिल्कुल बर्दाश्त नहीं है.
Uniform civil code, you don't need a Waqf board. You don't need
Okay. Let me structure this one by one. Let me structure this.
The power of Muslim men.
Let me structure this one by one. Shalini Ali.
Take Shalini ji's view.
Ask Shalini Ali. Hold on, Abhishek Sudhir. I'm going to Shalini Ali. Shalini Ali. The whole point is that be it the triple talaq issue, be it the section CRPC 125 issue, be it the Uniform Civil Code, ultimately it's about addressing the apprehensions of the Muslim community. Shalini Ali. Mufti Ziai says, if Muslim men we are taken alone,
I need to get this clear.
If the intention is right, we are open to reform.
No. Please take a big chunk of Indian society, especially Muslims today, and ask them whether they are open to reforms or not. Every educated Muslim today knows that this is the need of the hour. I agree with Atikur Rahman to some aspect that things should be done in a proper manner. At the same time, when the government is coming out with the reformations, we've got our own Muslim brothers standing in front and saying, nahi ji, ye galat hai. We have OAC who thinks he's the ठेकेदार of Muslims saying कि ये तो हमारी नस्ल खत्म करना चाहते हैं. So every time the government is taking one step ahead, we have our own community brothers taking us 10 steps behind. So somewhere down the line, things have to be taken in a good spirit, whether you like it or not. When Yogi had come into power, each and every Muslim was told, oh, Yogi aayega, Musliman khatam ho jayega. What has happened? Has anything like this happened? Has any one Muslim brother or sister been thrown out from this country? Have anyone been retrieved of their citizenship from this country? Has anyone's land, property, anything been taken away from their ownership? Nothing has happened. How many times are our educated brothers and sisters, especially Maulanas, going to keep on harping on the same thing, that we need trust factor from the government? Now when they're standing up with the women of the society, with the women of the community, you go and ask the ladies, yaar. Are they bothered about all this? No. They want a secured life, which they have got. They want security that no one is thrown out on the streets. Triple talaq is out. They are getting it. They go for the law-abiding acts of the country. They are going for CRPC 125. So what's the harm in the Waqf board? Like I said,
Atikur Rahman, essentially ultimately the debate becomes one which we have seen panning out in the case of triple talaq, in the case of Uniform Civil Code, in the case of UC, in the case of NRC, etc. That the Muslim community reacts more out of fear. The Muslim community reacts more out of programmed impulse, and they don't go by this thought that the reform has to come from within and at a certain pace. You can't, the nation can't be waiting forever for the Muslim community to say, okay, fine, we are willing to reform on our own.
One more thing I would like to say, that we have seen with the government policies, if a Salim Raj has been given ration, then one Sharma ji has also received. If a Haseen Bano has been saved by the police, then a Savita Kumari has also been. So how much more are you going to ask from the government? Now it's time for the Muslims to please shed their inhibitions.
Shed the inhibitions, Atikur Rahman, and join in the reform bandwagon, something which the community should be doing on its own. And at a certain pace, I underscore, because you can't be making the rest of the country wait forever.
Abhishek, why are Waqf Board employees treated as a government employee?
Miss Shalini, I am so
Give me one
thankful.
reason. Why is
so
paid
thankful.
salary?
Ratan Sharda, I'll come to you. Ratan Sharda, I'll come to
Crores
you.
of Muslims out of, they have got, the Muslims might have got, the benefit of ration, but along with it, there was a free gift by the BJP. That is demoralizing the community every evening on the
No,
Prime
Atikur
channel.
Rahman. Atikur Rahman, it is nobody's responsibility to moralize, demoralize, to enthuse the community. The community has to do something on its own. The community has to on its own join the national bandwagon, and the community has to take responsibility that they would reform and join the national mainstream. That's something which is something they should have done yesterday.
Change in the status of Muslims. We all know elections is a different ball game. After elections, has any status of any Muslim in our country been changed? No, sir, nothing has changed. So let's just shed our inhibitions. It is our time to start taking
last 24 hours and the 24 hours about to come. You read a headline in the major news dailies wherein the Muslims' properties are under hammer. The Muslims' images are under hammer. Their religious places are under hammer. What are you talking of? How can you lie so plainly? You are trained in the RSS to lie so plainly.
No.
That's a grudge on you.
Atikur Rahman, this is selective reading. Atikur Rahman, this is selective reading. No, Atikur Rahman, this is selective reading. Atikur Rahman, she was making a very valid point. Shalini Ali, pull back. Let me take this forward.
Bulldozer.
Okay, no.
From where Yogi got the name?
People.
Why he got the name Bulldozer Baba? He has
today they are
bulldozed the
living in a
Muslim
life
properties.
No, Atikur Rahman, the bulldozer has moved equally on Hindu properties also. Remember?
Your lie.
No, it's
That's
not.
your lie.
No.
Every citizen.
No, Abhishek, I cannot agree upon it. I cannot agree upon it.
It's intellectuals
No.
like you are creating
No,
barriers.
it's not equal. It's not equal.
Okay, I think the debate is diverting.
The government in Madhya Pradesh,
No.
the government in UP, the government which are Islamophobic BJP governments, they have targeted Muslims.
No, you are
their
absolutely
properties,
wrong. You are
their religious
absolutely
places.
wrong.
Okay, fair enough. Ratan Sharda.
Their business.
Absolutely wrong.
अब मैं आता हूँ ज़ियाई साहब आपके पास आता हूँ एक मिनट शालिनी प्लीज पुल बैक रतन शारदा ultimately I think I'm going through the AIM PLB statement which says that in all the decisions and actions taken by the Modi government regarding Muslims, something has been taken away from them, nothing has been given. Now you see, perception wise, when a Kavadia diktat comes in, when the hijab issue is picked up before elections in Karnataka, when you have reservations for the Muslim community becoming a campaign issue, a perception gets created that the BJP in a very targeted manner is taking positions which make the Muslim community uncomfortable. And that is why even if you are doing something which is for the good of the community is not coming on board, Ratan Sharda.
Well, when they are given special rights, they are very happy. When they take more than their population and the privileges from the government plans, they are fine. But they will keep on blaming opposition.
Obvious.
Now, tell me, Maulana ji speaking so well suddenly said that it can be, sir, आपको तो मैंने disturb नहीं किया था, आप क्या कर रहे हैं मुझे? आपने इस्लामोफोबिक कह दिया बीजेपी को बिना किसी मतलब के हर डिबेट में हर शाम आते हैं आप बीजेपी को बदनाम करते हैं आरएसएस को बदनाम करते हैं हमने आपका मुंह कोई बंद नहीं किया नाउ टेल मी इफ यू आर सेइंग दैट व्हेन दे से दैट शरिया के बारे में कुछ कॉम्प्रोमाइज नहीं करेंगे उसको हम साबित रखना चाहते हैं सो दे थिंक दैट शरिया इज अबव कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन in a secular country where you had Sharia given
who are you to
in the
talk about
neighborhood
Sharia
and now
what
you want special rights
Sharia?
secondly
are you Islamic scholar
I only know it doesn't fall under secularism because it is a constitution. Don't shout, don't try to threaten me, don't try to shut me up.
You don't talk about Sharia.
Don't try to shut me up.
Who has given you the right about Sharia?
Sharia, whichever law is not about constitution.
About the Vedas.
Abhishek, ask him to stop now.
No, he is not commenting on Sharia. Hold on. Atikur Rahman. See, he did not make any comment on the contents of the Sharia or the Sharia Act. He is only saying, in the context of the Constitution, Sharia Act.
Entire
Let me, Aishwarya, let me speak. You will continuously disturb me. Now tell me one reason.
Sharia Act is part of the Constitution. Ratan Sharda can very well comment on it. He is not commenting on Sharia or the provisions of
Sharia Act.
Don't try to threaten me. Atiku, don't try to behave like a dissident, okay? You are living in secular.
Okay, Atikur Rahman, because you mentioned it's not Sharia Act. Hold on. Atikur Rahman, listen, just fact checking. Atikur Rahman, just fact checking. You are the Islamic scholar. You can say that AIMPLB is wrong. Hold on, Ratan Sharda, because the AIMPLB statement, Atikur Rahman clearly says that the Waqf Act and Waqf properties are protected by the Constitution and the Sharia Act of 1937. So you are denying to Ratan Sharda his argument, but the AIMPLB statement itself says that the Waqf properties, Waqf Act is integral to the Sharia Act and hence a special provision available to the Muslim community.
Now,
can I complete my statement?
But let him complete. Atikur Rahman, let him complete. I give the last word to you. Ratan Sharda, let him complete. Ratan Sharda, only 30 seconds, please complete.
Now tell me, members of the board of Waqf are given a status of public servant. Why is any community got a status of public servant? What is the special privilege?
Okay.
And why Mutawalli takes salary from the government?
No, okay, fair enough.
Square meters of land in Bharat.
Okay.
Why the effort is not used?
And even if they are given, that is a state body. The state chief minister is responsible. How do the community get?
Okay, fair enough. Unfortunately, I've run out of time. It's a debate which is going to go on. Remember, the government is planning to bring in this amendment bill in this present session of Parliament, if not tomorrow, possibly sometime this week. Friends, what is important is that before bringing in this bill, the government has gone through the motions, the process. The Ministry of Minority Affairs has conducted meetings, not just with the National Waqf Council, but all the state boards. They have had n number of consultations with the community at large. And in fact, I am told that some of the amendments are those which were in fact proposed for the first time by the Sachar Committee, which is seen as some kind of touchstone of secularism in this country. So the Muslim community, my request would be, should wait to see the amendments that are being brought in. And if they believe that these are in the interests of the cause of Waqf and hence the community, they should accept them rather than making irresponsible statements that we have seen coming in, particularly from some of the clerics. On that note, thank you so much, everyone on this panel, for joining us this Sunday evening. And I come to an end of this conversation.